Today on Substance Stories, I'm going to be talking about why the absorption of a drug, the way we use it, matters. Today I want to explain that how the method we use the drug is maybe the most important factor about how reinforcing, and for want of a better word, how addictive it is. So to do this, I have to explain a bit of behavioral psychology. So I think everyone would have heard of Pavlov's dog. Pavlov's dog was it was an experiment by this Russian called Ivan Pavlov about 150 years ago. Essentially, what he did is he worked out that if he served his dogs food, they would salivate. So he's serving them. So he's like, oh, that's interesting. So that if I give them food, that's an unconditioned stimulus. When that's do it, it promotes a natural reaction. The salivation is the unconditioned response. So I give them food and they salivate. What happens if I ring a bell every time I give them food? He's going to call that a conditioned stimulus. Initially, the bell ringing doesn't cause them to salivate, but if I do it next to the time, next to when I give them food, it's going to be associated with the food and they'll start to salivate even if I don't give them food, right? I can condition that response. So it can be a conditioned stimulus and then salivating to the bell is conditioned response. And what's important about that is it really matters when I ring the bell. If I ring a bell and then 5 minutes later give a dog some food, it's really not going to associate the bell ringing with the food much. But if I do it at the same time as I give the food, it's going to really quickly associate the bell ringing with the food. So that temporal difference is really important. The closer I ring the bell to serving the food, the more quickly it's going to get the response. Now with drugs, the same thing. The unconditioned response is the effect the drug has on our brain. The unconditioned stimulus is taking the drug. The conditioned stimulus is the things that remind us of taking the drug and the act of taking the drug. So our brains, if I smoke a cigarette, the smoking of the cigarette, the pulling the cigarette towards my mouth is the conditioned stimulus. So if a drug hits me really, really quickly, it really, really is easy to associate with the stimulus and it's quite reinforcing and I'm more likely to get addicted more quickly. If it hits me quite slowly, it's less so. So anything I eat, like if I eat cannabis, it's not going to hit me for another hour, half an hour to an hour, right? Depending on, maybe I have a full stomach, maybe 2 hours. If I smoke cannabis, it hits me incredibly quickly. It gets to the brain incredibly quickly. So it's much, much more reinforcing and therefore more addictive if I smoke it. So if I shoot something up, if I inject something, it's incredibly rapidly absorbed. Basically can't get more rapidly absorbed. And then smoking is almost as rapidly absorbed. And then snorting is very rapidly absorbed, but not as quick as smoking or injecting. And then eating's much slower. Drinking would be in the between, depending on what you're drinking. Alcohol is actually quite rapidly absorbed. It's even absorbed to the stomach walls, which is quite unusual. So it's quite rapidly absorbed. So there's how closely something is to getting absorbed and getting to the brain is associated with how addictive it is. And that's why heroin, which turns into morphine after about 30 seconds to a minute in the body, is much more reinforcing than morphine because heroin crosses the blood-brain barrier really quickly where morphine doesn't. So the way we take our drug really matters to how quickly we can find ourselves losing control. So when we talk about a drug, it's really important to keep in mind how we're doing it. And that's why it's relevant when someone says, well, how do you have your heroin? Do you inject it? Do you smoke it? Do you snort it? That's going to matter to how associated it is with how associated the use is with the effects of the drug and therefore how addicted it will feel it. So it really matters. So I hope that was very educational when you're keeping in mind when you're using substances. And when you are doing it, make sure you're doing it safely. If you're using heroin, use it with someone. Make sure you're using sterile needles. Please practice in a safe manner. Thank you.